What if the most dangerous thing about a new AI model wasn't what it said, but what it could do? Stay with me on this one, because by the end of this episode, you'll understand why this story is different from every other AI safety headline you've seen this week. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, has built a new AI model called Mythos. And Mythos is good, very good, so good that during internal testing, it successfully identified and enabled a real, working exploit in Google Chrome. Not a theoretical vulnerability, not a proof of concept, a working attack, valued at $2,283 on the open vulnerability market. And Anthropic's response? They didn't release it. Not to the public, not to enterprise customers, not to anyone outside a small circle of security firms being briefed through something they're calling the Glasswing project. That decision is worth examining carefully, because it's simultaneously a story about what went right and a story about what we should still be worried about. Let's start with what went right. Anthropic tested their model before releasing it. They found a genuine risk, and they made the difficult commercial decision to withhold a product that could generate serious revenue, because they judged it too dangerous. In a landscape where speed to market is everything, that is not a trivial choice. They are leaving money on the table to protect Chrome users, which is to say, most of us. Chrome has roughly 65% of global browser market share. A working Chrome exploit is not a niche problem. It's a threat surface that covers most of the internet-connected world. That's the responsible AI development story. And it's a real one. But here's where it gets complicated. The model still exists, and it's being quietly previewed to a select group of firms through the Glasswing project, which raises a question that nobody in the AI industry really wants to answer. Who decides who gets access to a dangerous AI model, and on what basis? There is a growing pattern in how frontier AI companies handle capability that outpaces safety. They don't destroy it. They don't publish it. They offer controlled access to a curated list of trusted partners, which typically means well-funded enterprise clients or research institutions with existing relationships. That's not inherently wrong, but it does mean that the same technology is simultaneously too dangerous to release and available to the right people. That tension deserves scrutiny. And there's a second layer to this story. Mythos didn't just find a vulnerability. It found a Chrome vulnerability. A working Chrome exploit doesn't target a niche system. It targets most of the internet-connected world. The fact that an AI can now autonomously identify these vulnerabilities at this level of specificity and value is a genuine shift in the threat landscape. The barriers to finding high-value exploits just got lower. This connects to something else in this week's security news that I want to flag. A separate research framework called AutoRAN has demonstrated near-perfect success at hijacking the safety reasoning of large reasoning models, including GPT-o3. Near perfect. That's not a margin for error. That's a statement that current AI safety guardrails can be systematically bypassed by a determined attacker. Mythos represents AI finding exploits in software. AutoRAN represents AI finding exploits in AI safety itself. Both are running simultaneously. So what does this mean for how we think about AI governance? The EU AI Act requires risk assessments and transparency for high-risk AI systems. But withholding a model isn't transparency. It's discretion. Discretion exercised by a private company according to criteria we cannot audit. Anthropic may have made the right call, probably did, but probably made the right call is not a governance framework. What we actually need, and what frameworks like the EU AI Act are still working toward finding, is a mechanism for external, independent review when a model demonstrates critical vulnerability discovery capability. Not just a company deciding internally, not just a trusted preview program. Structured, auditable oversight. And now let's talk about what this means for you. If you use Chrome, and statistically you probably do, this story is directly relevant. The immediate practical step is simple. Keep Chrome updated at all times. Chrome patches known vulnerabilities regularly, and an exploit that was worth $2,283 this week may be patched next week. Open Chrome settings right now, check for updates, and enable automatic updates if they're not already on. This takes 2 minutes, and it matters. Broader than that, this story illustrates something important. AI is now sophisticated enough to find zero-day vulnerabilities in major software autonomously. That means the window between a vulnerability existing and someone finding it is shrinking. If you manage devices for a small business or a family, software updates are not optional inconveniences. They are your primary defensive layer. Make them a non-negotiable routine. And ethically, pay attention to who has access to what. The Glasswing project is not inherently sinister, but private capability tiers in frontier AI development are a governance gap that civil society should be watching closely. The question of who decides who gets access to powerful tools isn't just a technology policy question. It's a question about who holds power in the digital world, and whether the rest of us have any say in that. This is Cyber Ethos. If this conversation matters to you, share it with someone who should hear it, and I'll see you next week.